This line from the iconic film 12 Angry Men strikes a chord because it brings forth the sheer power of the criminal justice system, the power to decide someone's fate, to decide if they will walk free or spend the rest of their lives behind bars, guilty or not. And thus, the question arises, what happens when this system fails us? What happens when the faults in this system are manipulated by people in power for their selfish gains? Sidney Lumet's movie 12 Angry Men throws us right into the middle of this issue. The whole film takes place into a small, stuffy jury room where 12 people have to decide the fate of a young boy accused of murdering his own father. The evidence seems solid, testimony is reliable, prosecution questionably valid. But the verdict seems evident. All the juries have made up their mind. The conviction is there. And yet, there is one who raises his voice against them.
Juror 8, played by Henry Fonda, stands against the rushed decision of conviction, not implying the kid's innocence. He only asked for a fair discussion, pointing out that there is a room for doubt. Slowly, with his voice being the voice of reason, the strength of the case begins to fall apart. The jurors question their judgment, their biases, and ultimately what justice means in its true sense.
This movie isn't just a courtroom drama. It's a deep dive into human nature and how easily bias can creep into life or death decisions. The idea that someone is innocent until proven guilty is supposed to be the foundation of justice. But 12 Angry Men shows how quickly that gets flipped.
Research by Sommers and Ellsworth have shown that bias plays a pivotal role in manipulating the interpretation of ambiguous evidence. In the movie, Juror 10 openly admits he sees the defendant as guilty just because of where he's from. And unfortunately, that kind of thinking isn't just a 1950s problem. It's still happening today.
There is the concept of groupthink. Put it simply, it is the experience we have all been through at least once. Standing in a room full of people where it becomes nearly impossible to voice your opinions because everyone is in complete agreement with each other. Irving Janis's theory explains how the need to confirm can silence dissent. Juror 8's battle against the majority, and especially Juror 3, who's blinded by his own personal baggage, is a perfect example of how emotions and power struggles can completely derail rational judgment. One of the film's most eye-opening moments is when Juror 8 challenges the so-called solid evidence. A knife that was supposedly unique, not so much. An old man's testimony, full of inconsistencies. An eyewitness account, questionable at best. Research by Loftus and Palmer proves that human memory is unreliable and easily influenced. Yet, countless convictions still rest on faulty witness statements.
All of these can be tied together to form a bigger picture. Becker's labeling theory suggests that when society labels someone as a criminal, they start being treated as one regardless of whether they are guilty or not. Hagen and Poloni's research shows how justice system doesn't just punish people, they shape futures. The little kid in 12 Angry Men is not only put on stand for trial of murder, but it was also a trial of him being poor, an assassination of his character and his background.
Gross miscarriages of justice is not a foreign concept. There are numerous incidents closer to home. For instance, the Arushi Talwar case. It highlighted the inconsistencies and misconduct in criminal investigations that destroyed a family. The Jessica Lal case, for instance, it proved how individuals exploit power and social standing to manipulate justice. The Malegaon case, it also underscores how communal tensions can influence verdicts. And the Kathua rape case, it's such a heartbreaking example of how a young girl's religion overshadowed the pursuit of justice.
That's correct. Adding on to it, one of the biggest challenges in India's legal system, de-clearance. According to the National Judicial Data Grid, millions of cases are stuck in limbo. When justice takes years, sometimes decades, does it even count as justice? Cases like the Bhagalpur blinding and the Uphaad cinema tragedy show how the powerful often escape punishment, while victims and their families are left waiting for closure. All of these point to the inefficiencies of our system and highlights the dire need for development and resources.
In the end, the film 12 Angry Men leaves us with one key takeaway: that one voice is enough to make all the difference. Juror 8 raising his voice against all the jury members is what made all the difference. And that is what the justice system is all about. It is not about the courts and the trials. It is about people who are willing to raise their voice, people who are willing to change, and people who are willing to speak up against what seems so certain but also looks so wrong. Justice is not automatic and it is not guaranteed. It needs people to fight for it. It needs people who will refuse to let biases, assumptions, and stereotypes and systemic failures from dictating other people's lives. Because in the end, we have life in our hands and dignity on our minds.